Kolkata, knowing Laxman Dravid flipped the final script. Adelaide 03, Dravid fought while Aussie slipped. Sachin's masterclass, Ponting's roar, Cumble's broken jaw. A decade of fierce battle that left the cricket world in awe. Oh, the Border-Gavaskar, a war of heart and soul. From Melbourne's historic turf to the Gabba's lethal bowl. Scar, sweat, and legendary figures carved into the grass. A rivalry of giants that will forever last.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Unfiltered Cricket Podcast. So, the background might have surprised you guys. So, this is what I have never done. I don't think anyone has ever done this thing to record a podcast inside a train. So, here I am with you guys, recording a podcast inside the train premises. So, what I will record? I think I will record um, some series which we couldn't cover in the India Australia podcast. I think I missed a few. I missed all the series, I think, in detail. I think after 2008 Border-Gavaskar Trophy, which was in Australia. So I missed quite a few home series and away series in detail. We hoped that a few of our guests will join in today, but unfortunately they didn't. They couldn't join actually, unfortunately. So it's fine, no problem. I am here with you guys, so I will only discuss all the series which are here, which I will discuss. So I will just give you a nutshell of what we will discuss today. Today I will discuss the 2008 home series, the 2010 home series, the famous win. Of course, I'll discuss the famous win at Bangalore. 2011 away to the horrible 4-0 drubbing. The 2013 home series I won't discuss because that's a 4-0 drubbing. We won that series, so I think I won't discuss that one. I will go straight away into the 2014-15 away series, which we lost 2-0. That was the birth of new captaincy era. I will discuss in detail. The 2017 home series, the 2020, 2019, 2020, sorry, the 2020-2021 away series, which was in COVID, the famous Gabba win, of course. The 2023 home series and the 2025 away series. This all set of series which I will cover in this podcast for now. So I think the rivalry between India and Australia so far has been very exciting till this point, because I think we drew 1-1 at Perth, that away series. It was amazing. It was amazing, that Perth one, that victory after, I think, the allegations of the Monkey Gate scandal. It was very dirty at that time. So after that Monkey Gate scandal, India somehow won that Perth test, and very convincingly they won that Perth test, because they had set a target of 400 something, if I remember correctly. And India bowled Australia out in very quick time. I think they got all out for 340 or something. So it was a memorable victory for us. And it was all Ishant Sharma in that final test match. I think Ishant Sharma versus Ricky Ponting, that rivalry was unparalleled, unmatched. It was unbelievable to see a 19-year-old guy just coming in and tormenting the one of the best batsmen of this generation. But and he just foxed him out. I think he bowled overs after overs after overs, hit that one particular area, moving in, moving away. I think his strength at that time was to bring the ball in, but his variation was the reason he was getting so many wickets. I think variation was to move the ball away. The ball pitched and moved away, and that's the reason how he got the wickets. And it was amazing to see a 19-year-old guy bowling like that at 150 kilometers an hour. That too for India. I think we have not have had an out and out fast bowler since a long time, and that was the birth of that bowling era. So now, moving on, I think we'll move forward straight away into the India versus Australia home series, which followed the Border-Gavaskar Trophy of away. We won this series as well. So starting of the first test match was a bore fest. Honestly, it was at Bangalore. It was drawn. So Australia scored 430. Notable contributions: Ricky Ponting scored 100 and Michael Hussey scored 100. I think the way Ricky Ponting batted in this test, guys, unbelievable skills. He batted so well. I think all the anger of that Perth test dismissal was taken out by Ricky Ponting in this series. He was batting so well. I think the first test was a statement by Ricky Ponting that, see, you might have got me out in Perth by humbling me in both the innings, but I'm not done yet. I have still 3-4 years of international cricket left in me. and I will just show you guys that I'm not over. Michael Hussey also scored 100, and yes, this was the comeback series for Zahir Khan, because Zahir Khan missed the Border-Gavaskar Trophy of 2007-8, which was in Australia. He couldn't play. And the bowling of Australia consisted of Brett Lee and Mitchell Johnson and Stuart Clark, almost the same squad which was in the previous Australian tour, the Australia India tour of Australia. It was almost the same squad. And opening, oh yes, my Matthew Hayden made a comeback. Matthew Hayden did not play the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. He made a comeback in this series, and he was disappointing in the first innings. He got out for a duck. Simon Katich supported him as much as he could, and India in reply scored 360. Rahul Dravid scored 51. Saurav Ganguly scored 47. Harbhajan Singh and Zahir Khan both scored 50s, by the way. That was a good contribution from both of them. Australia scored 228 for 6 declared, and in reply, uh, India were given a target, but I think they scored 177 for 4, and the match was drawn. So it was a drawn test match, followed by the second test, Mohali. This was a convincing win for Team India. I think they demolished Australia in this test match in Mohali. India scored 469. Sachin Tendulkar. Oh, this Sachin Tendulkar scored 88. And by the way, this is the series where the one of the greatest India captains and one of the greatest captains of all time as well, Saurav Ganguly, had announced that this series will be his last, and he will play for India for one final time. And in the second test match, Saurav Ganguly scored a beautiful 100, scored 102 of 225 balls. So it was amazing to see Saurav Ganguly still contributing at this end of his career. If you ask me personally, I think Saurav Ganguly still had 3 or 4 years of cricket left in him when he retired. But I think due to some BCCI politics and all, he had to retire prematurely, because I feel he retired a bit early. He could have played 3 or 4 more years, but the team management at that time did not want Saurav Ganguly to continue. They wanted him to retire. So I think it was a clear message given to him that we won't select you after this series. So if you want to play, you can continue, but after this, we won't pick you. You can do whatever you want. So I think this was the kind of message which was sent to Saurav, and that's why Saurav decided, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. I think I'll retire after the end of the series. Dhoni was amazing in that partnership. I think 92 of 124. Some hitting he did in that uh, partnership. Oh goodness! If you just go back and watch the clips, if I don't get any copyright, I will definitely put those clips in as well, and you will just see how well Dhoni was playing in that innings. The way he complimented Saurav Ganguly in that innings, it was perfect. The left-right combination worked really well. And in reply, Australia scored 268. They got out cheaply. Only good contribution was from Michael Hussey 54 and Shane Watson 78. 268 all out. And the biggest contributor was Mishi Bhai, Amit Mishra, the leggy, who took 5 wickets for 71 runs at an economy of 2.66, which is really good. In reply, Matthew Hayden started quickly, 29 of 20 and all. Michael Clark scored a 50, and Australia got all out for 195. So India defeated them quite easily. And in the second innings, India scored 314 for 3. And here there was a change of guard. In 2007-8 Border-Gavaskar Trophy, um, Wasim Jafar and Virender Sehwag were the openers. And Wasim Jafar failed miserably in that series. He didn't perform really well. He was replaced by none other than Gautam Gambhir. And Gautam Gambhir played really well in this series. In the second innings, he got 100, a quick 100 at a strike rate of 75.36, faster than Virender Sehwag, which is very uncanny, which is a little surprising, because the way everyone knows how Virender Sehwag plays, but the strike rate of Virender Sehwag was slightly slow. He scored at a strike rate of 73.77 and scored 90 of 122 balls. And Dhoni again scored 68 of 84 not out. Dhoni came at number 3, because it was a very clever decision, because they wanted to set a total for Australia to chase, and very quickly in 65 overs 314 for 3. So you can understand they were targeting to score quick runs here. So Saurav Ganguly also 27 of 37. He was also batting quick, and Tendulkar scored 10 of 12. And Australia got all out in 195, so we won the second test match. Third test match was also drawn. It was a bore fest, because the Delhi wicket was one of the flattest wicket I've ever seen in a long time. India scored 613 for 7 declared. I think there was some double century which was scored. Yes, Gautam Gambhir scored a double 100. VVS Lakshman also scored a double 100 here. And Virendra Sehwag got a nip backer from Brett Lee. It was a beautiful delivery which got him out. If you see the clips, if I can add, I will just definitely add it. And in reply, Australia also batted well actually. I think Matthew Hayden got 83, Michael Hussey got 53, and Michael Clark got 100, 112 of 253. Was beautiful. And India scored 208 for 5 declared. Tendulkar scored 47 of 120. Was a very slow innings. And in reply, Australia scored 31 for no loss, and target was 245, and they had no time left, so they declared. In the fourth test match, India demolished Australia, completely decimated Australia here. India scored 441 all out, and Sachin Tendulkar scored 100 in this test match. This test match, VVS Lakshman scored 64 runs. Saurav Ganguly scored 85 in this final test match of his career. He missed out on 100. It is so heartbreaking, so heartbreaking that in the final test match of his career, Saurav Ganguly missed out on 100 by just 15 runs. He was batting so well. And in reply, oh, this is a very historic test match because Jason Kreza, if you remember that bald guy, who was an off spinner for Australia, took 8 wickets in this innings. That's a very strange stat and a very memorable stat for any spinner who is playing for his country. Australia scored 355 all out. Simon Cattich got 100. Michael Hussey got 100. And Cameron White got 46 of 133. So, and in reply, India scored 295. Virendra Sehwag got 92 of 107. That was a very quick fire innings. Dhoni got 55. And Ganguly got out for a duck, a first ball duck, a golden duck in his final innings of his career. Cotton ball Kreza. And in reply, Australia were given a target of 382. They were bundled out for 209. But here is a funny story, guys. A very funny and not really funny, it's a touching story which will remember for me. It will remain with me for the rest of my life because in the final 1 hour of that innings when Australia were fielding, Australia were batting and India were fielding, Ganguly knew that his test career is done, is the final 1 hour of his career as Indian cricketer. MS Dhoni suddenly walked up to Saurabh Ganguly and just said, "Okay, Dada, this is the final 1 hour of your life as an Indian cricketer. So I would just request you, we are already winning this test match. So I will just request you to just captain the Indian side for that last 1 hour." And Ganguly was hesitant. He said, "No, I mean, I'm done. I'm done, Dhoni. Mahi, I'm done. What's the need of the captaincy and all? I am already done in my career." But because he said in his podcast, I think in Breakfast with Champions, I think with Gaurav Kapoor, he just said this that I had switched up. I said, okay, India career is done. I'm retired now. What's the point? But MS Dhoni requested again. He said, Dada, please, it's the final 1 hour of your career. I just want you to uh, experience being the captain for one final time in the last 1 hour of your career. So Dada finally agreed and he captained India in that one last 1 hour. And I'll show you the clips if possible. If you just go back in time and just watch the clips, you will just say you will just observe that Ganguly was setting all the fields in the last 1 hour. It was so memorable and so nostalgic for us fans who were watching this game that we have grown up watching Saurav Ganguly as an Indian captain. So for it was a very emotional moment for as a fan because it was so touchy and so emotional to see him captain India for one final time. And India won the test match. I think Australia got out for 209. Matthew Hayden scored 77 on 93. And Adam Gilchrist had already retired, guys, because in I think at Perth it was the final test match of Adam Gilchrist, so he had already retired. Brad Haddin replaced him, and they got all out for 209, so it was done. Harbhajan Singh got 4 wickets. Amit Mishra got 3 wickets. So this was very good. So Border-Gavaskar Trophy 2008-9 was really memorable. So I think now I will bring in. Now next I will discuss the 2010 Border-Gavaskar Trophy between India and Australia, which was another memorable series. I'll tell you first test match between India and Australia and Mohali. This will remain with us for the rest of our lives because that last wicket partnership between VVS Lakshman and Pragyan Oja will be remembered for ages. I think this is an example which will be given to everyone that the never give up attitude from VVS Lakshman. By the way, he was injured, so he was using Suresh Raina as a runner backup. Those days in 2025, it's not allowed anymore. But in those days, back in those days, it was still a legal thing to do. And Pragyan Oja was at the other end, number 11. And they chased down 216. So starting off, Australia scored 428 runs. Shane Watson and Simon Cattich were the openers. Shane Watson scored 126, a beautiful 100 there. Beautiful innings. If you watch the clips, it was amazing. And Ricky Ponting scored a beautiful 71. And Team Payne, the new wicketkeeper, the babysitter, so to speak, scored 92 runs of 196 balls. And the bowlers for India were Zahir Khan, Nishant Sharma, Pragyan Oja, Harbhajan Singh, and Virendra Sehwag. India in reply scored 405. Rahul Dravid scored 77. Sachin Tendulkar got out for 98. So unfortunate. Suresh Raina scored 86, and India scored 405 in total. Mm, Doggy Bollinger. This was the guy who was the left arm seamer for Australia. He played this Test series. Mitchell Johnson was one of the big bowlers of this innings. 5 wickets for 64. Marcus North, the off spinner, he was a part of the series. Gautam Gambhir, Virendra Sehwag, Rahul Dravid, Tendulkar, Raina, they were the part of the second innings, and all of them technically failed. They were given a target of 216, and before that, Australia scored 192, by the way. Simon Cattich, a fighting innings of 37 of 118 balls. So they scored 192 in total. Good bowling from India. Everyone contributed equally. Ishan Sharma, Zahir Khan, Harbhajan Singh, Pragyan Oja all got wickets. In reply, I think India started off poorly, but VVS Lakshman, he came out late. I think he came out after Zahir Khan, by the way. So that explains the injury. So he scored 73 of 79. It was a very quick fire innings from Lakshman because he knew he can't run. So he was hitting all around the park. And Ishan Sharma scored 31 of 92. This innings is one of the classiest innings of Ishan Sharma because the contribution which he did, if this was not done, India would have lost the game. And Pragyan Oja supported him very well in the last few balls. I think I think if you've seen the match, that leg bite from Mitchell Johnson, he bowled in the pads, the leg bite into the boundary, India winning the Test match. Oh wow! I think India ran too. I think the fielder from fine leg fielded the ball, and India somehow, I think the Vivish Lakshman was standing at one, and Rana and Oja ran the 2 runs. It was celebrations. Pragyan Oja jumping onto Vivish Lakshman's lap, and this was a clip which will remain with every cricket enthusiast for ages to come. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see this Test match, and the second Test match was also India won. It was at Bangalore. I think Bangalore has been a spectacle of beautiful test matches of India versus Australia, memorable test matches between India and Australia. So, yeah, it was a high scoring game. High scoring game, I'll just tell you. Australia scored 478. Marcus North scored 100. Marcus North scored 100. Team Penn scored 59. 478 all out. Srishant played this test match, and he was a lot expensive. Harbhajan Singh took 4 wickets. India scored 495. Murli Vijay had a beautiful run. This series was the birth of Murli Vijay, the Test batsman. 139 of 310 balls, and yes, Sachin Tendulkar 214. I think this season of Sachin Tendulkar, I think I've also recorded in the Sachin Tendulkar podcast as well. I've shared this with you guys. Tendulkar's 2010 season was once in ages. I think it's that one blip before that flame goes off, right? I think the 2010 season, at the age of 37, Sachin Tendulkar was a full beast. He was in complete beast mode in this series, in this whole season, 2010-11. Double 100 in ODI, 100 in South Africa, 100 in home. He was an amazing form. I think it was just everything was turning into gold, I think, in this season. Even in the World Cup, it translated this into the World Cup as well. He scored 200s, 185. It was a lucky 85 though, but I still consider that was a good 100. Good season for Tendulkar. I think post that he just went into a dip a bit. But yeah, it was a good innings from Sachin Tendulkar. 204 of 363. And India scored 495. And in reply, Australia scored 223. I think that's where they faltered. They faltered badly in this innings. Ricky Ponting scored 72. And Nathan Horwitz, this was an off spinner. Nathan Horwitz was a good off spinner, scored 21 of 48. And they got all out for 223. And India, in reply, they demolished them. Cheteshwar Pujara. Oh, the birth of Cheteshwar Pujara, the number 3 batsman. Who will replace Rahul Dravid was a big question. I think when he was going towards the end of his career, yes, Rahul Dravid scored beautiful 300s in England after this season in England, and he retired eventually in 2012. But this was the point when they realized that okay, I think you need a new number 3 after Rahul Dravid hangs up his boots. This was this guy, Cheteshwar Pujara. He played really well. Sachin Tendulkar scored a 50, and they won this Test match convincingly, 207 for 3. So it was a easy win. It was a two-match series. So I think now I will go into something which was little less memorable for India. 211, 212. I think this was little four-match series which everyone would like to forget. India toured Australia in 2011-12, and they were on a high of a World Cup win, but they went to England. They lost all the ODIs. They just tied one ODI, I remember. They lost all the T20 matches and they lost all the test matches. They lost four test matches on trot. The only saving grace of that series was Rahul Dravid at the age of 38, leading from the front with the bat, coming back as an ODI player, coming and making his debut in ODI in T20 setup and retiring straight away. So it was amazing to see him, Rahul Dravid, giving his all before his retirement. Then came the Australia series, and this time Rahul Dravid was getting bowled like hell. If you have seen the clips, if you have seen the series, if you have watched the series, followed the series closely, you would have seen that he was getting clean bowled a lot of times. He was getting clean bowled multiple times, again and again and again. Any ball which was pitched on the off and middle stump, he was getting clean bowled. So there were headlines in the newspapers that the wall is finally breached. It was it was very unfortunate that career like that ended in such a fashion, but it's okay. It happens with the best. So starting off with the first test match, which was actually close. In the first innings, India were in a good advantage. India were in an advantageous spot. They could have won the first test at MCG. So I'll just tell you why. So this was a Boxing Day test match. So okay, I will just give you a background of Boxing Day test match. So I think after Christmas, 25th December, the test starts at 26th December. So I don't have a detailed information about the Boxing Day test match. You can just look it up. But as far as I remember, that on 26th, it just starts on 26th December, and it ends in the next year, New Year. So for that reason, the Australians celebrate this a lot. So every test match, I think it's a tradition since a long time. So in 26th December, every test match is scheduled at the Melbourne Cricket Ground (MCG) on 26th December. In every tour, I think even if it's Ashes, even if it's any other team touring Australia, even if it's India, doesn't matter. They will schedule a test match at MCG on 26th December for sure. Even this upcoming Ashes, which I will record as well, I will record some videos of the Ashes and I will live stream that as well. So the upcoming Ashes also, they will keep one test match at MCG for sure. So coming back to the test match, Australia scored 333. Oh, this was the beginning of Umesh Yadav, the Vidarbh Express's career. A young guy coming in and bowling 150, 155 kilometers an hour, swinging the ball away, hitting the good areas. No one in their dreams thought that this guy will bowl and just uh, rattle Australia apart with pure raw pace. Ed Cowan and David Warner were the openers, and no one scored big. Ricky Ponting, I think this was the beginning of the end of Ricky Ponting's career. I think after this series, Ricky Ponting played one more home series. I think it was against South Africa, if I'm not wrong. So he retired after that. He announced his retirement after that, and he didn't play any more cricket. And notable contributions, Zahir Khan was really good in that first test match. 4 wickets. Umesh Yadav took 3 wickets. Ravichandran Ashwin, which was a big surprise because the spinners usually don't play well on Australian pitches. But Ravichandran Ashwin took 3 wickets. The economy of 2.79. India scored 282 all out. Gautam Gambhir got out for 3. Virendra Sehwag scored 67. He was having some visibility issues, I think, since 2011. He was suffering with some eyesight problems, but still he did well. Rahul Dravid, till the time he played 60 out of 187, was playing well, but again he got clean bowled. You can see bowled by Hilfenhaus. Hilfenhaus was a very good bowler, by the way. Ben Hilfenhaus, a good bowler who just hit the right areas. He was a bit like Josh Hazelwood, if you so to speak. Was there, and of course Peter Siddle. Tendulkar started off well this series, but scored a 73 and then he got out. Lakshman was in completely out of form. Completely out of form. Lakshman was also at the fag end of his career. He also retired later. Virat Kohli was starting to make his debut. He made his debut early in 2010, but he was slowly, he was just rising up the ranks. And the batting was a lot deep. I think they were batting till number 9. Ravichandran and Ashwin even could bat, and even with this batting lineup, they couldn't flourish. That's a bit disappointing. James Pattinson was a good fast bowler for Australia at that time. Ben Hilfenhaus took 5 wickets, a 5 wicket haul for Ben Hilfenhaus, and then Australia scored 240. So the difference between the two teams wasn't great. If you see the first innings scores of both the teams, it was not substantial. But somehow Australia scored 240 in the second innings. It was not a bad bowling innings from India. Zahir Khan took 3 wickets. Umesh Yadav took 4 wickets. But in reply, India were extremely disappointing. 169 all out, nothing to mention here. And India lost test match. I think this was the beginning of the end because then the SCG test match. Oh, goodness gracious me. 191 all out and 400 all out, and Australia 659 for 4 declared. They lost by an innings. I think they didn't recover after this. I think this was the end of everything. I think if you see the scores, 191 all out. Sachin Tendulkar scored a fighting 41 and MS Dhoni scored a 50. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. James Pattinson took 4 wickets. Ben Ilfenos took 3 wickets. Peter Cyril took 3 wickets. And India, in reply, when we were bowling, Michael Clark's 329, the triple hundred at SCG. He could have gone for 400, but I think because they wanted a result, Australia declared. But if he wanted, if Michael Clark wanted, he could have broken Brian Lara's long-standing record of 400. I think another guy in South Africa, I think he was very close to breaking this record very recently. He was 370 something not out, but he chose not to break the record. It's a little debatable. Some people are liking it, some people are not liking it, but it is what it is. So Michael Assis scored a 150. Ricky Ponting scored 134. Zair Khan took 3 wickets, and in reply, India had to put up a total and also had to make Australia bat again. Sachin Tendulkar scored a fighting 80. Lakshman scored 66. Ashwin scored 62, but it was not meant to be. India got all out and India lost the game by an innings. Third test match at Waka, Perth. By this time, Waka Perth had flattened up a bit. This was not the Waka of old where Sachin Tendulkar in 1992 scored a brilliant 100 on a bouncy, spicy wicket. This was not the same Waka, but still, India India struggled a lot. 161 all out in the first innings, no notable contributions. Virat Kohli scored a fighting 44, and in reply, Australia scored 369. A beautiful, beautiful innings by David Warner. 180 of 159 deliveries. A quick fire innings from David Warner. And Zahir Khan, Umesh Yadav took 5 wickets. So at the Waka Stadium. Now they don't use it anymore. Waka Stadium is under renovation, so they currently use the Optus Stadium in Perth for playing test matches and all matches. I think Waka Stadium is only used for domestic games these days. So yeah, Umesh Yadav bowled really well here. Second innings again, Virat Kohli was the lone fighter, scored 75 of 136, and India got all out for 171. India lost the game by an innings and 37 runs. Fourth test match at Adelaide. This is a change of guard kind of a test match. I'll tell you why. Australia scored 604 for 7 declared. Ricky Ponting scored a double hundred. So he was kind of in form in this series. Michael Clark scored a double hundred again. And bowling is nothing. I think it was nothing to mention. Ravichandran Ashwin took 3 wickets all right, but Australia scored 600 plus. India in reply scored 272 all out. So shameful, but Virat Kohli scored 100. So this is why I said it was a change of guard kind of a test match because Virat Kohli was emerging as a leading batsman for India, and I think this was followed in the Tri Series. I think he scored a beautiful, beautiful 100 against Sri Lanka in the Tri Series, if I remember correctly. He smashed Malinga left, right, and centre at Hobart, if I remember correctly, in 2012. And in reply, Australia scored 167 for 5. It was just a formality, and India got all out for 201 in the fourth innings. Tendulkar scored 13. Virendra Sehwag scored 62 of 53. No notable contributions anymore. Rahul Dravid was again getting out cheaply. So this is how the careers ended for Lakshman and Dravid, and Tendulkar was on a decline, of course. And then I think after that he only played, I think, the Border-Gavaskar Trophy at home, which I will not discuss because it was a 4-0 win. No notable thing to discuss. I think I can discuss in short. Okay, I think I'll discuss in short. The Border-Gavaskar Trophy 2013, I will discuss in short. India defeated Australia 4-0. So, yeah, in Australia scored 380 in the first innings at Chennai. This was the first test at Chennai. Clark scored 100. And Ravichandran Ashwin took 7 wickets. India in reply scored 572. Kohli got 100, and yes, a brilliant double hundred from Mahendra Singh Dhoni. A brilliant double hundred from MS Dhoni. So, yep, it was a beautiful innings from MS Dhoni. And some hitting. If you see this innings, those sixes he hit, oh my goodness, amazing. In reply, Australia scored 241. And Australia scored 241. And Moises Henriques, that all rounder, scored 81. And again, Ashwin took 5 wickets. India chased down the target, 50-run target, I think in 50 runs only. Wherein Cheteshwar Pujara and Sachin Tendulkar chased it down. So, yep, India won the first test match. Second test match, India won by an innings and 135. This was at Hyderabad. So, 237 for 9. They declared, I don't know why, then one of the bowlers, I think, was injured. Something happened. So, they declared for 237 for 9. Yes, one guy played this series. He's no more with us, Philip Hughes. The one guy who could have been one of the greatest openers of Australia, but he lost his life in 2014 Border-Gavaskar Trophy just before that. I will just discuss that when the series I will discuss. So rest in peace. I hope he rests in peace, and we miss him. We all miss him. I will discuss that in detail when we discuss the 2014-15 series part. So Philip Hughes was batting number 3 in the series, by the way. Michael Clark scored 91. Matthew Wade scored 62. And Australia scored 237 for 9. Bhuvneshwar Kumar took 3 wickets. Ashwin took 1, Bhajju took 2 wickets, Bhajjupa, Harbhajan Singh, and Ravindra Jadeja took 3 wickets. India in reply scored 503. Cheteshwar Pujara got a double hundred. This innings is one of the best innings of Cheteshwar Pujara in history. Murli Vijay's 167 is also given an example to a lot of cricket enthusiasts as how to leave the ball, how to play the ball with finesse, with touch and tease. Amazing, calm and composed innings from Murli Vijay. 503 all out. And in reply, Australia scored 131 all out. 8 Cowan scored 44. He tried to fight, but it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be. So, yeah, the third test match, it was at Mohali. So, this was a little closer because Australia fought back a bit. Because the series was on the line, guys, right? 2-0 already up. If you lose this test match, you lose the series. So, Australia scored 408. Ed Cowan and David Warner opened well. Stephen Smith, he was emerging as a batsman by this time, scored 92 of 185 balls. Mitchell Stark scored 99 runs. He missed by his 100 by just 1 run. 99 of 144 balls. So Australia all out for 408. And in reply, and of course, this was Pragyan Oja's last series ever as an Indian cricketer. Or no, I don't think it's the last. The last series was the India versus West Indies, I think, for Pragyan Oja. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Ravichandran Ashwin took 2 wickets, Pragyan Oja took 2 wickets, and Ravindra Jadeja took 3 wickets. And I was discussing like that Pragyan Oja's last ever series was 2013 India versus West Indies. I think this was a farewell series of Sachin Tendulkar. And in reply, India scored 419, and again Murli Vijay scored 150. Shikhar Dhawan, oh, this was the debut test match for Shikhar Dhawan. It was so unfortunate that he got out for 187, but this 187 runs, oh my goodness, if you see the innings, those cover drives he was playing on the up was so soothing to the eye. It was so beautiful to see Shikhar Dhawan play that way. We thought that we have got an opener who will play for India since for a long time in Test cricket, and he did play. And we thought he will dominate Test cricket, but it was not meant to be. He could not dominate Test cricket for long. And Virat Kohli scored 67, and India scored 499 as I discussed, and Australia scored 223 all out. Philip Hughes scored 69. Nathan Land was a night watchman, 18 of 48. Brad Haddin scored 30. Mitchell Stark scored 35, and India were given a target of 133, and they chased it down with 6 wickets to spare. So 3-0 series was won here, and the final test match at Delhi. This was a tougher pitch to bat on compared to 2010. This was a little tougher pitch. You can see with the scores, I think you will understand. 262 all out Australia. Notable contribution 50 from Peter Siddle, 46 from Steve Smith, and 45 from Phil Hughes. And in bowling, Ravichandran Ashwin took 5 wickets. India in reply scored 272. Pujara got a 50. Murli Vijay got a 50. Ravindra Jadeja got 43. So Nathan Land, that off spinner, the greatest off spinner from Australia, took 7 wickets in this innings, by the way. Australia scored 164 in reply, and they were given a target of 155. India were given a target of 155. Pujara got 82 of 92, and MS Dhoni and Pujara were at the crease when India finished this chase. So India won the series by 4-0. Now we will move on to the 2014 and 2015 series after this. So we have reached the 2014 and 2015 Border-Gavaskar Trophy. So there's a backstory to this series. MS Dhoni suffered an injury to his one of his fingers. I think, if I'm not wrong, it was either his thumb or some finger. I don't remember clearly. So because of that injury, MS Dhoni was not traveling to Australia for the first Test match at Adelaide. So a standard captain was required, a captain who would represent India as and when MS Dhoni is not available. The big news was yet to come. It was not there yet. The big news was not there yet that MS Dhoni will be retiring or not. That news was not out in the public yet. But the first Test stand-in captain was none other than Virat Kohli. So he took a gamble. He took a big gamble in that first Test match. He played Karan Sharma, the man from IPL. He played limited Ranji cricket, but it was not that much evident that he will be successful in Test cricket, and it was proved right. He was horrible in that Test match at Adelaide, and even in the series as well, he was not good. The way they started off, it was on the negative note because Australia scored 517 for 7. I remember I watched this series live as well, and gee, thank you. Yep, and I think 517 for 7 Australia started off, and it was very unfortunate the way Indian bowlers bowled. Ishan Sharma got an early strike, but he couldn't convert it. I will just show you the fall of wickets. 1 for 50, Chris Rogers, and 2 for 88, Shane Watson. And after this, India just faded away. And by the way, one important information in this series, particular 2014 and 15, pitches were dead flat. All the pitches, all the four pitches of the four test matches, the pitches were flat as ever. Anyone could score hundreds on this surface. It was that bad, that flat. I think this was one of the reasons why Mitchell Johnson retired in 2015 November. He was playing against New Zealand, one of the test matches, and I think prior to that, I think there was a series against West Indies. So I think I'm not sure which one was before, which one was after, but I remember these two were the series after the World Cup. So Mitchell Johnson said that if I'm giving my 100% and I'm not getting the outcome, I'm not going to play cricket anymore. So he just retired straight away. Coming back to the Test match, uh, David Warner scored 145. Karan Sharma finally got him, but it was too late. Michael Clark was struggling with some injury, but still he scored 128. Stephen Smith, the rising star of this series, and a beautiful, beautiful series he had. This series was all about Stephen Smith versus Virat Kohli and David Warner as a supporting actor of this series. It was so good, these guys. So I think bowling wise, no notable. I think see the economy they went on. Mohammad Shami, 2 wickets he took, but economy of 5. Varun Aaron took 2 wickets, economy of 5.91, almost 6 runs and over. That in Test cricket is unforgivable, unforgivable. Karan Sharma took 2 wickets. Ishan Sharma took 1 wicket. India in reply scored 444. Pujara got 73, got bowled by Lyon. A beautiful delivery if you have seen the dismissal. Virat Kohli's 115. And by the way, this is the backstory to this series. In the 2014 India versus England series, Virat Kohli was struggling and was nicking the ball outside off multiple times. A couple of times he was just nicking the ball outside off again and again and again and again. Come the Australia series, he was under a lot of pressure. And straight away he was also made the captain. And now he played the captain's knock in this series. He played the proper captain's knock in this series, starting off with 115 of 184. Beautiful cover drives, pulling Mitchell Johnson on the front foot. Some cuts and pulls he played. I think he never played those cuts and pulls ever again. If you have followed his career closely, only in that Perth 100 which he scored this year, earlier this year, he showed some glimpses of that 2014 technique. But Still, he was not that 2014 guy who was hungry for runs. He was hungry to prove himself. That guy was not here this time around. Rahane scored 62 and India scored 444, all out I just mentioned. Nathan Land took 5 wickets and Australia in reply scored 290 for 5 declared. Warner got another 100. And in reply, India were given a target of 364, but the change of guard showed India were ready to chase any target on a foreign soil with zero fear. It was evident with the way they approached. Murli Vijay got 99, Virat Kohli scored 141. Beautiful innings on a day 5 wicket. His target was set and they had a whole of day 5 to chase. Australia declared overnight, and on the eve of day 5 to the game begins, Australia declared and they said that okay, you have 98 overs to bat, you need to chase the total. Now, some backstory to this. I was going to college that day, and by the time the innings had already I think already advanced to a level because they start very early, and at Adelaide also it starts around 5:50 at morning. So by the time I left for the college, Australia, I think India were only 2 wickets down, and the way they were batting, these two guys, if you see the third wicket for when it fell, 242 for 3. So before this, they were 230-40 for 2 when I was going off towards college. I thought 364 to chase, 235 for 2. I think India's definitely taking this game home out of nowhere. India's taking this game home. But when I came back, from college, I think after 1 hour later, oh goodness gracious me, I was shocked to see India lose the game. Then I watched the highlights and I just saw the hell unleash in front of me. Nathan Lyon just hit the God mode and getting out again and again and again to off spin and some reckless dismissals as well. Riddhiman Shah played a reckless shot stepping out. He got a 6, but again he stepped out again and got stumped. I think he got bowled, I think, or stumped. I think he got bowled. And Ajinkya Rahane tried to defend and got out. I think India forgot to play spin in that series. And of course, Nathan Land took 7 wickets in this game. 7 wickets, and India lost the game. Very good. It was a heartbreaking loss. Dhoni came back at Gabba, Brisbane. Dhoni came back as a captain at Gabba, Brisbane. He came back. And in the first innings, India scored 408. Oh, okay. Forgot to tell you something. I was about to tell you the Phil Hughes thing. So before we begin the second test discussion, I think we should come back to that. So prior to begin of this Border-Gavaskar Trophy, Australia were playing a Sheffield Shield game, which is the domestic of Australian cricket. So they needed an opener. They were searching for an opener at that time, and Phil Hughes was playing the county cricket game. I think he was playing for Victoria. I think if I'm not wrong, the game was going on at Sydney Cricket Ground, 24th, 25th November, if I'm not wrong, 24th or 25th November 2014. Sean Abbott, who still plays cricket, he played the Champions Trophy recently as well. Sean Abbott, the medium pacer, was bowling, and Phil Hughes was on 63 not out. Sean Abbott wanted to take his wicket, and in that process, he bowled a bouncer. Sean Abbott bowled a bouncer, and Phil Hughes tried to pull it. He tried to pull it, or I would rather say hook or pull, a mix of both. He missed the ball, and ball hit his neck at this portion. At this portion, it hit at 130 plus kilometers an hour. It hit at this position, the ball, and there was no neck guard in those days. There was no guard at this neck area. So what happened? It just hit the subclavian artery. The subclavian and the carotid artery, which is present in this neck portion, it bursted. Those arteries burst straight away, and internal bleeding started. And if you see the video, he just held his knees and then he fell off. I think he was in coma already at that time, and they took him to a hospital. They put him on life support, but unfortunately, the doctors couldn't save him. And 2 to 3 days later, on 27 November 2014, he was declared dead, and he left us all for the heavenly abode, and we miss him. And may his soul rest in peace. And it was a very emotional farewell. Virat Kohli, Ravi Shastri, the whole Indian team went at his funeral. His father carrying him on his shoulder. It was a heartbreaking moment for every cricket fan, and no one would wish anyone anything like that to anyone, even if they are the rivals. We are rivals, not enemies, right? So we don't wish these kind of things for any opponent ever. It was very heartbreaking to see Michael Clark breaking down while giving the speech, the obituary. It was very unfortunate. So, yep. Um, Yeah, it was very unfortunate, and yes, and now we'll go back into the discussion of the second test, sorry, at the Gaba. MS Dhoni came back as a captain, and India scored 408 all out. It was a tribute. I think it was the test number was 408. So Murli Vijay scored 144. Murli Vijay scored 144. Beautiful, beautiful 100. Ajinkya Rahane scored 81. Virat Kohli got out cheaply here at Gaba. And 408 all out. I think notable contribution was Josh Hazelwood. He bowled beautifully in this series and in these innings as well. And they used a lot of bowlers in these innings. And Australia in reply scored 505. Stephen Smith got 100, 133. And Mitchell Johnson scored 88. This was very disappointing that you should not allow the tailenders to score well, but this has been a problem for us since a long, long time. And I remember this innings. I watched it live. And very important thing, Mitchell Johnson was coming off a very big hype and a huge success of Ashes in 2013. He took 37 wickets in 5 Test matches and a very successful sort of South Africa tour. So he was on fire. So in this series, it was a bit underwhelming for him. I think the Phil Hughes death affected him a lot as a fast bowler. He said, I was afraid of bowling bouncers, thinking that if this ball might kill another batsman, I wouldn't be able to take the blame. So I think that affected a lot of fast bowlers in this period. It was very emotional for Australian players, and also I think Australia was not the same Australia in the series because they were so emotional, right? They've lost a mate, they've lost a partner of their team, they lost a teammate. So the aggressive attitude was not present in that magnitude as it is always there in the Australian team. They were a bit reserved in the series in that attitude, so to speak. India in reply scored 224 all out, another horrible innings. Shikhar Dhawan scored 81 and 224 all out. And Australia in reply they had to chase 128. They lost 6 wickets, but they somehow chased it. And yep, easy win. And then at MCG the match was drawn. At MCG, I think the legendary partnership between Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane. I will discuss this. 530 all out Australia. Stephen Smith scored 192. This was a memorable series for Steve Smith. If you have seen him bat in that series, if you have not, you should go and watch those clips again because he was on fire in that series. He was bowled by Umesh Yadav. No other big contribution. Ryan Harris, again the bowler scoring 74. So this is very embarrassing. The tail enders contributing again and again. This was very detrimental for our chances, I think, going into this series. We couldn't clean up the tail properly and it affected India 465 all out, Murli Vijay 68, Virat Kohli 116 and Ajinkya Rahane 147. This partnership was a partnership for ages. They batted really well, but didn't get enough support on the other end. Australia scored 318 for 9 declared. Sean Marsh was run out on 99 by Virat Kohli. Very unfortunate for Sean Marsh. And in reply, they were given a target of 384. This time they did not go for a win. And MS Dhoni was the last batsman, and Ashwin and Dhoni were the last of the batsmen who just decided, okay, let's just go for the draw. Let's not lose this game. They declared at 174, and everyone shook hands. MS Dhoni was a very smiling man at the press conference. No one had any idea what's going to follow after that. MS Dhoni went in the dressing room. He shed a tear. He cried, and he said that, guys, this was my last match for India. He retired at that moment. No one in that dressing room could believe what they were hearing because it gave no hints to anyone, right? Nothing in the press conference, nothing in the game. No one in their ever dream, in any dream, would have thought that MS Dhoni was retiring. In the dressing room, he came. He was emotionally shed a tear and has said, "Okay, guys, I'm retiring." Suresh Raina started crying. Of course, he was his best friend at that time. So that was the end of MS Dhoni, the Test cricketers. Abrupt end to end career. Just like Ravi Ashwin. Ravi Chandran Ashwin also ended his career abruptly. We'll come to that. So I think I've discussed it in one of the previous episodes of this India versus Australia cricket podcast. But because this is a bonus episode, I will discuss in detail what happened behind the scenes. So yeah, it was the retirement of MS Dhoni, and then Virat Kohli was made the full-fledged Test match captain. Was made the full-fledged Test match captain at Sydney SCG. So Australia 572 for 7. Steve Smith again scored 100. David Warner scored 100. Chris Rogers scored 95. By the way, if you guys don't know, Chris Roger is colorblind. So for him to play test cricket and play so good is an inspiration for a lot of people. Sean Marsh scored 73, 572 for 7, declared. Joe Burns, by the way, back in those days, Joe Burns used to play for Australia. Now, Joe Burns represents Italy in international cricket, by the way, if you guys don't know. So, this is some GK question for you. If this question in general knowledge comes in, I think you guys should be able to answer that. India 475 all out. KL Rahul scored a beautiful 100 at Sydney. Okay, KL Rahul made his debut at MCG. It was a very forgettable experience for him. He scored 1 and 3 runs in 2 innings. Come SCG, he was back and he scored 100. Kohli scored another 100, 147. Ravichandran Ashwin scored a 50, 475 India. And Australian reply scored 251 for 6. Notable contribution was Steven Smith 71 of 70. Joe Burns 66 of 39. That was a quick fire innings. And India got a target of 349. In the initial stages, they went for the chase. But at a point, I think when they realized that they can't win the test match, they might even lose if they lose wickets. So they went into the match saving mode where Ajinkya Rahane defended, and 252 for 7. And Australia couldn't take those wickets. So, yeah, Australia won the series 2-0, and this was the birth of Virat Kohli, the test captain. And then, one of the most memorable test series of all time was the India versus Australia home test series 2016-2017. It was amazing. The test series began in February 2017. So the Pune test match was a test to forget for India. First test, Stephen O'Keefe wreaked havoc on India. There was a guy who made his debut for Australia, Matt Renshaw, who was nicknamed as the toilet guy because he scored a 50 in the first innings. He scored 68. I think in the beginning of the innings he started batting, and then in the bathroom break he took a lot of time. I think went into the loo, and he came back after Australia lost a few wickets. So he came back late. So that was the thing. Then David Warner scored 38. Stephen Smith scored 27 of 95. Mitchell Stark scored 61 of 63, 260 all out. Jayant Yadav played this test match. Umesh Yadav took 4 wickets, and in reply, India were all out for 105. Can you imagine? 64 of 97, KL Rahul. Ajinkya Rahane scored 13 of 55. And it was unfortunate. See, Stephen O'Keefe took 6 wickets in the first inning. 6 wickets. Can you imagine? 6 wickets by Stephen O'Keefe. Australia in reply scored 285. Stephen Smith got a beautiful 100, and this 100 is given an example, a trendsetter for all the people that this is how you bat on a turning track at Pune. This was a dust bowl, a complete dust bowl, and Stephen Smith showed how to bat on a dust bowl. And Ashwin took 4 wickets, all right, but India in reply they were given a target of 441, unreachable, and of course they faltered. They got all out for 107. Stephen O'Keefe this time took 6 wickets, and Nathan Lyon also contributed to 4 wickets, and India lost the first test match horribly. And this was a fiery series. I think Virat Kohli said that in the beginning of the series, all Australian people are good fighters in test cricket, but at the end of the day, they are good friends. But by the end of the series, Virat Kohli said that no, this definition might have changed after the end of the series. A lot of people, I think, are no more friends of mine. So it was a very fiery series, this one. Fiery in that sense as well, because this was the series when problems between Virat Kohli and Anil Kumble started to flare up a lot. I will discuss that as well. Second test match at Bengaluru. India already 1-0 down. India got all out for 189. KL Rahul scored a fighting 90 of 205 balls. No other big contributions. Avinam Mukund played this test match, by the way. Avinam Mukund was the opener. Mitchell Stark was brought back in the second test match, and he took 1 wicket. Nathan Lyon took 8 wickets. Unbelievable spell from him. Australian reply scored 276. They got a substantial lead. Matt Renshaw, the toilet guy, got 60 of 196. Sean Marsh got 66. Matthew Wade scored 40. He was the wicket keeper, by the way. And Ravindra Jadeja took 6 wickets. And Karun Nair was also playing this series. He was dropped following this series, and now he has just made a comeback, I think, after 8 years gap in the India versus England series, which is right now going on. The 3 test matches are completed out of 5. So, yeah, the test match is still going on. And in the second innings, India made a comeback. Checheshwar Pujara scored a brilliant 92. Ajinkya Rahane scored a beautiful 52. So 274 all out. And Josh Hazlewood took 6 wickets. And in reply, Australia were given a target of 188. Very much achievable. But I think the way Indian team came and hunted, I think I remember the dismissal of Matt Renshaw. Ishan Sharma came round the wicket, swinging the ball away, edged and keep, I think, taken by Saha. David Warner tried to sweep Ashwin and got LBW. Stephen Smith, beautiful reverse swing from Yadav. And yes, in this dismissal, Stephen Smith tried to look at the dressing room for an opinion if he was LBW or not. So this was the brain fade incident. So what happened? Umesh Yadav bowled a reverse swinging in swinging delivery. Smith was trapped in the pads. Appeal was given and he was given out. Nigel Long was the umpire, if I remember correctly. And Stephen Smith went to his partner and also towards the dressing room. He had a look and he asked that if I can review or not. That is not allowed as per ICC cricket rules and MCC cricket laws as well. Virat Kohli and Indian team rightfully protested and he had to walk back to the pavilion. So this was the brain fade incident. Steven Smith later said that okay, that was probably a brain fade and that's why it happened. I did not intentionally do it. Anyways, what happened has happened. Doesn't matter. And Ashwin took 6 wickets and it was amazing. I think one catch, I think Peter Handscomb's catch, I think if I remember correctly, he dived and took that catch. I don't remember which dismissal was this, but one of the dismissals of Ravichandran Ashwin's bowling. I think it was Matthew Wade's wicket if I remember correctly. I think it was his wicket only. Sorry, Riddhiman Saha took a diving catch. Beautiful diving catch. And the last wicket, of course, the cotton bowled of Ashwin, and that was the winning wicket. I still remember the celebrations. It was a comeback roar by India. And then came the Ranchi test, which was drawn. India was saved by that test match. Australia scored 451. I think it was not a save. I think it was a gone case anyways. I think it was no one was winning this test match from nowhere. Australia scored 451. Stephen Smith, what an innings on Ranchi wicket. Beautiful innings from Stephen Smith. 178 of 361 balls. Glenn Maxwell scored 100 on this wicket. Notable contributions, Ravindra Jadeja took 5 wickets, Umesh Yadav took 3. India in reply, 603 for 9 declared. Cheteshwar Pujara got a beautiful double 100 on this wicket. Beautiful 200 he got. And Riddhiman Saha got 100. 603 for 9 declared. And in reply, Australia were 204 for 6, so there were no result possible, so the match was declared drawn. Now, two test teams arriving at Dharamshala, series in line. Virat Kohli rested himself because he was injured. Now, Kuldeep Yadav was made to play that fourth test match and Virat Kohli was not in favor of playing Kuldeep Yadav in Dharamshala. Ajinkya Rahane was the stand-in captain. He was in favor. Anil Kumble was in favor, but Virat Kohli was not. And there was a huge altercation in the dressing room regarding that. I think that was the breaking point between these two alpha males, as it was discussed in a lot of interviews. It's not my words. Two alpha males clashing against each other. When that Kumble Kohli fiasco happened, these were the words used by the media, not me. So the thing is that was the breaking point between these two strained relationship already. I think it had gone very dirty. Glad that they are still on talking terms in 2025. They have sorted their issues now. They are no more enemies, so to speak. It's good to see that. But nonetheless, and that back in those days it was not good. Australia scored 300. Stephen Smith got 100. And Kuldeep Yadav took 4 wickets, by the way, in this first innings. The man Virat Kohli didn't want to play. But Rahane was the captain. And in reply, 332 all out India. KL Rahul scored 60, a very good innings. A tough track. Pujara scored 57. Jinx got 46. Ravindra Jadeja got 63. Australia, the first innings scored 137. In second innings, sorry. And they were got out cheaply. It was beautiful bowling from Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. Beautiful bowling. Umesh Yadav with his reverse swing to 3 quick wickets. I still remember those dismissals. It was unbelievable the way they were bowling on a track which is not really spin friendly, but they extracted turn out of nowhere from that track beautifully. And in reply, target of 106 runs. They chased it down, and KL Rahul scored a 50. And I still remember that celebration of KL Rahul. Unbelievable celebration from KL Rahul. He was just outstanding. The way he was showing the aggression, and it meant a lot to these guys, right? Winning a Test series against Australia is no joke, and it was the series was on the line, and they won it convincingly. Beautiful, beautiful end to a fighting series. We will move on into one of the most successful tours of India in Australia. First time, I think, in first time in history, India won a Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. It was a memorable test series for a lot of people. Yes, there were a lot of questions that Steve Smith is not playing, David Warner is not playing. How can you regard this series as one of the biggest victories? But it's not India's fault that they used sandpaper, right, in South Africa. They used sandpaper, they cheated, and they got what they deserved. All three of them were banned. Stephen Smith was banned, David Warner was banned, Peter Hanscom was banned. No, sorry, not Peter Hanscom. Peter Hanscom was involved, but he got away with it. Cameron Bancroft, another opener, he got banned. Three of them got banned, and they deservedly got banned. They tried to cheat, tried to use unfair means to win against South Africa, paid the price. First test match at Adelaide, India won by 31 runs, and Virat Kohli arrived in this series as one of the most successful batters of all time. But this series, he was not as successful as 2014-15 because the pitches were not that flat. Taking nothing away from him because in this series, on the toughest wicket they played on at Perth, Virat Kohli scored 100. I'll just come to that. But before that, India scored 250 playing opening the innings. I think India was sent into bat in the first innings. Pujara scored 100. That's why India was still alive in this test match. Rohit Sharma scored 37. Rishabh Pant scored 25. All contributed. Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, Lyon, all bowlers contributed. Australia in reply got all out for 235. Aaron Finch and Marcus Harris were the openers for Australia. And Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, Ravichandran Ashwin all contributed equally. And Jasprit Bumrah had just made his debut in South Africa just few months back. And for him to succeed straight away in Test cricket, it was amazing to see. It was just like fish taking to water, just like the way Jasprit Bumrah took into Test cricket. It was amazing to see. I mean, to this day, till this day, I thank Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri for taking that gamble and at Cape Town for making Jasprit Bumrah play that Test match. India in reply 307 all out. Pujara got 71. Rahane got 70. 307 all out. I think Nathan Land got 6 wickets. But in reply, target of 200, 323. It became very close. Aaron Fitz, Scott Pant, ball Ashwin. Beautiful dismissal there. Marcus Harris. It was a straight ball. It tried to turn. The ball didn't turn. Straight into hands. And Marcus Harris, Scott Pant, ball Mohammad Shami. A beautiful delivery from Shami. I still remember that ball. Sean Marsh tried to fight. Pat Cummins tried to fight 28 of 121, but the resistance was finally broken. And Australia were out for 291 and India won the first test match. Beautiful end to a beautiful test match. Then came Perth, a green top, complete green top. You can't differentiate between the pitch and the outfield. On that, Australia batted first, scored 326 because I think usually at Perth, batting first is like winning the test match straight away because batting first, the initial period you just need to survive and after that is very good for batting. Marcus Harris scored 70. Travis Head scored 58 and they got all out for 326. And Ishant Sharma bowled really well, 4 wickets. India in reply 283. They were 8 for 2. I still remember. India were 8 for 2. And then Virat Kohli came into bat and he just wreaked havoc on that green top. Beautiful innings. And that's the best I've seen Virat Kohli bat at Perth. And his second best innings at Perth was also in this at the beginning of this year. No, I think it was in 2024. 2024 December, I think, when Virat Kohli scored his final Test match century. It was at this same stadium. If you compare the shots, 2018 and 2025, it was very much similar, the type of shots he played. Beautiful innings from Virat Kohli. Rahane got a 50, 283 all out by India. So they were slightly behind. In the second innings, Australia scored 243. Beautiful innings from Usman Khwaja. Team Penn scored a beautiful 37 of 116 for the fighting innings. In bowling, Mohammad Shami took 6 wickets, and this is why he has a nickname. Shami has a nickname of second innings Shami because usually he bowls really well in the second innings. India in reply were extremely disappointing. They tried their best, but it was not meant to be 140 all out. And Australia won the second test match at the Optus Stadium at Perth, not the Waka. Waka was not used in this series. This series, the new Optus Stadium was used. And the Boxing Day test matches was one of the most memorable victories of India. 443 for 7 declared, India batting first. Hanuma Vihari opened the innings, 8 of 66. This is one of the rarest innings which I think will be remembered for a long time because he just by defending, he turned that new ball into an old one. I remember this innings. He was just taking body blows, defending, not playing a single aggressive shot, but he showed a high level of grit and determination to help the batsmen who were following him. And yes, this is the test match when Mayank Agarwal made his test debut, and what a debut this was. Some shots he played, 76 of 161. The way Mayank Agarwal was playing his shots, it looked like he has a very bright future. Not to be, but still it's not done yet. He's only 33 years old, still can make a comeback. If Karun Nair can make a comeback, so can he. So it's not over till it's over. So we can expect a comeback if it's possible. If he has a wonderful Ranji season, you never know. He might come back again. Cheteshwar Pujara scored 106, a beautiful 100 on the stadium. Virat Kohli scored 82, beautiful innings. Rohit Sharma had a good innings of 63 or 114. I remember those beautiful pull shots he played at the MCG. And in reply, Australia got bowled out for 151. One of the greatest bowling performances of India. Jasprit Bumrah took 6 wickets. This was one of the best spells of Jasprit Bumrah I've seen in a long time. Beautiful bowling. I think in this innings only, yes, that's 19 of 61. Sean Marsh LBW bowled Bumrah. If you remember correctly, this was a slower floating delivery to Sean Marsh coming around the wicket. He bowled a slower full toss and it just landed on Sean Marsh's pads. He reacted very late and it was plumb in front. Clear out. What a dismissal. No one can expect this kind of deliveries to be bowled in a test match, but this was the guy, Jasprit Bumrah. He did it. Unbelievable. So, and in the second innings, India batted and scored 106 for 8. Fire second innings, 106 for 8 declared. Mayank Agarwal scored 42 of 102, and they were given a target of 399 to chase, and of course, they could not chase 399. Beautiful bowling from the whole bowling unit. Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravindra Jadeja, Mohammad Shami was beautiful exhibition of fast bowling by all these bowlers, and we won the third test match. And we were already 2-1 up, and we could have won the fourth test match as well, but unfortunately the rain saved them. Rain saved Australia here. India 622 for 7 declared. Pujara scored 193. He was almost getting a double hundred, but could not. This was the series of Cheteshwar Pujara. He just batted, and batted, as explained by the Australians as well. Everyone prepared for Virat Kohli, but Cheteshwar Pujara came out of syllabus. He batted out of his skins and batted beautifully. Virat Kohli could not contribute much, but Rishabh Pant, 159 of 189. What a beautiful innings this was. In reply, Australia got all out for 300. No major contributions. I think the whole bowling unit again contributed, and Kuldeep Yadav was amazing in this test match. Took a 5 wicket haul, 5 for 19, and the way he bowled. I think Shane Warne was a huge fan of Kuldeep Yadav. May his soul rest in peace. We miss Shane Warne a lot. It was a very untimely demise of a legend. He left us too soon, and he was a big admirer of Kuldeep Yadav because he's also Chinaman, a wrist spinner. He was a big admirer of his bowling. So in reply, Australia had to bat again, but they did not bat. I think they could have lost by an innings as well. And even if they batted for the whole time, they would have given a paltry target to India to chase it down. But the rain saved them, so they got away with it. So yes, that was the story of 2018 and 2019 series. And followed by that was the 2020-2021 series. The beautiful series. This was series which I think most of us will remember for the rest of their lives because I think this was an emotional win for Indian team because down and out with COVID, uh, half-cooked team coming out there. I think didn't have much match practice. because of the COVID restrictions and in the bio bubbles and all. And of course, the first test match, the Adelaide 36 all out, right? No one expected India to get all out in Adelaide like that. They were in a good position, by the way, leading up to that 36. They were in a good position, but that uh, 36 all out changed everything. Virat Kohli was supposed to go back to India after this because he was awaiting the birth of his first child. So at that time, he went back to India after the completion of the first test. Prithvi Shaw was making his debut. He made his debut already, but this was his first Sena appearance in Australia. But Mitchell Stark worked him out. He had a weakness against the incoming delivery, and Mitchell Stark found it, and he got him out for 200 for a duck. 244 all out India. Pujara 43, Virat Kohli 74 run out. I think this is just a 74 and a run out for the scorecard. But I'll tell you, had he got that 100 in that time, Virat Kohli not would have not gone through a slump of these 5 long years as he did. That run out impacted him a lot psychologically. He was never the same batsman after this. He was never ever the same batsman after this run out dismissal. Rahane was responsible for this run out and he was never the same. 244 India all out. Mitchell Stark took 4 wickets, and this was a day night test, by the way. Australia were all out for 191. I think India were in a good position. They were 9 for 167 Australia, but still 8 for 139. I think the tail enders contributed a lot and they somehow stretched that score to 191, and that was a bit unfortunate. Ashwin took 4 wickets. He bowled really well with the pink ball at Adelaide. And of course, the second innings, nothing to say. Prithvi Shaw again was done by the ball coming in. 36 all out. And Australia chased down 90 runs with ease. No major discomfort. But this was the beginning of the memorable and the emotional story of a triumph which will be remembered for a long time. Ajinkya Rahane, the stand-in captain, was made the main captain here. India bowling first. Mohammad Siraj was the lead bowler of this squad. Bumrah was also the bowler in this test match as well. He was still playing. Umesh Yadav was still playing. So and it was debut of Mohammad Siraj, by the way. Took 2 wickets. Bumrah took 4 wickets. Ravichandran Ashwin took 3 wickets. And Siraj, by the way, it was a very emotional test match for Mohammad Siraj because he had recently lost his father due to COVID at that time. And we still remember that during national anthem he got emotional. I think it was very normal because his father wanted to see him play test cricket for India, and just before that test match his father passed away and he could not see his son play live cricket. It was very unfortunate, but it's okay. I mean, it's life, it happens. But the fire was very important for the team, and Siraj showed what he can bring to the table for the Indian national team, and he showed it. 195 all out. Incredible bowling. And this time, no one can made excuses that David Warner and Steve Smith were not there. Both were there. So, and Stephen Smith got out for a duck, by the way. I think Stephen Smith was foxed beautifully. I think in this series, down the leg side, he was the leg slip was kept, and down the leg side, he was set a trap. It was beautiful setting by the captain that time. So yeah, it's beautiful. I think if you see the dismissal, I will just give it in detail to you guys. Steve Smith caught Pujara ball Lion. So yeah, exactly. He glanced at one ball to Pujara at leg gully. He bowled one down the leg side. Not sure how much that part of the plan, but Steve Spoon helped to get off the mark. He tried to flick it and tried to make the connection and just hit the inside edge of the bat. And he was caught at Pujara. And I remember, I think Ashwin was showing this signal like that to set a fielder at that leg slip area. So yep, Travis Head was playing this series, by the way, 30 out of 92. He was also playing the 2018-19 series as well, if I'm not wrong. India in reply scored 326. Rahane got a memorable 100 as a captain. He stood up and scored a brilliant 100. 112 of 233, 223 balls. And Ravindra Jadeja also contributed well. So, yeah, Stark took 3 wickets, Lyon took 3 wickets, Pat Cummins took 2 wickets, and in reply, Australia scored 200. Couldn't contribute well. And Siraj took 3 wickets this time in the second innings. Beautiful bowling. Bumrah took 2, Umesh Yadav 1. and Ravindra Jadeja took two wickets, and India had to just chase down 70 runs. And I remember Mayank Agarwal getting out cheaply, but Shubman Gill, I think, made his debut in this Test match, if I remember correctly. Prithvi Shaw was dropped. Shubman Gill made his debut, and he scored a 35 of 36. It was a good innings. So they won the Test match. Series was back at 1-1. This Test match, Sydney Test match, will be remembered for the grit and determination and never give up attitude shown by Ravichandran Ashwin and Hanuma Vihari. I'll tell you why. Australia got all out for 338. Marnus Labuschagne scored 91. Steve Smith scored 131. Good. These two batted really, really well. And yes, I think Umesh Yadav got injured. Umesh Yadav got injured and he was ruled out from the series. And Navdeep Saini made his debut. And I think it was all a lot of injuries in this series for India. Jasprit Bumrah took 2 wickets, and in reply, India scored 244. Shubman Gill got a 50, decent 50. Pujara scored 50. It was a tough innings from Pujara. Well defended innings. He was not the same Pujara of 2018. He was playing a little defensive. He was not really playing his shots a lot. It was a bit defensive, but it was effective. Anyways, Pat Cummins took 4 wickets in this innings, and in reply, Australia batted really well. Batted really, really well. 73, Marnus Labuschagne. Cameron Green got 84. Steve Smith got 81. 312 for 6 declared. And India got a target of 407. At one point, when Rishabh Pant and Pujara were batting together, it was looking like they're going for that target. Can you imagine? They were going for the target of 407. Unbelievable attitude shown by the guys. They were going for the 407 run target, but once Rishabh Pant got out for 97, I think they changed their plans and they went for the draw. And Pujara also got out cheaply thereafter. And then Ravichandran Ashwin was suffering with a back problem, back spasm. Hanuma Vihari had a torn hamstring. But the way these two guys showed some grit and determination to save the test match from the jaws of defeat. Had one of these guys got out at that time, India would have lost the game for sure. But somehow these two guys stood tall and somehow drew the test match, and Australia were under deep pressure at Gabba Brisbane, where they were never ever beaten before that. Gabba Brisbane was one of the stadiums where Australia had never lost a single test match before this. Australia were put into bat first. Marnus Labuschagne scored a beautiful 100. And Mohammad Siraj was the lead bowler, by the way, in the series. Bumrah also had a back spasm. He was ruled out of this test match. Navdeep Saini, Mohammad Siraj, and T. Natarajan, the T20 bowler, the net bowler of the series, was made his test debut because no lead bowler was left for India to field. So still, India bowled really, really well. 369 all out. Natarajan took 3 wickets. Shardul Thakur also played this test match. He took 3 wickets. And Mohammad Siraj took 1 wicket. Washington Sundar also made his debut in this test match. Took 3 wickets in place of Ravichandran Ashwin. India in reply did really well. Washington Sundar scored 62. I think they were not doing well initially, but the partnership between Washington Sundar and Shardul Thakur, I think this set up the match for India. India were in a very, very horrible position. I'll just tell you when. I think they were 186 for 6 at one point. When Rishabh Pant got out, India were under deep, deep trouble. But Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar just steadied the ship and played some amazing, amazing shots. Shardul Thakur played some drives on the up. It was so good to see. He played really, really well. And they took the total to a fighting total 336. An Australian reply got all out for 294. And Siraj took a 5 wicket haul. It was a very emotional 5 wicket haul for him, and he deserved this for sure. And Shardul Thakur also bowled really well. He took 4 wickets for 61 runs. And India were given a target of 328 runs. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill came to open. Rohit Sharma got out cheaply to come in. I remember on day 5 morning, Rohit Sharma got out outside off stump. He just edged it. It was a bit cloudy at the beginning. And Shubman Gill, I think this was the birth of Shubman Gill, the test batsman. What an innings this was. He was fearless. He was pulling, cutting, and ramping. He was doing everything right. He was driving so well. He smashed Nathan Land left, right, and center. Pujara again in this Gabba test match. He took multiple body blows. Also in that Sydney test match as well, he took multiple body blows and somehow set up the game for India. I think the partnership between Pant and Pujara was the symphony of fire and ice. Rishabh Pant was the fire, Pujara was the ice. Unbelievable partnership. Pujara finally got out, but Rishabh Pant continued the onslaught. Rahane had a counter-attacking 24 of 22, and Washington Sundar joined the party. Rishabh Pant and Washington Sundar, they took it to almost the end. And Navdeep Saini just came in, didn't face a single ball. And Rishabh Pant played that on that off drive, I think towards long off. It was a winning shot. And India won a historic series in Australia with with tail enders and reserve in India A team. He literally played fielded an India A team in the fourth test match and somehow won that game. Unbelievable story. Unbelievable story. I think now we will go into the last two series which we will discuss right now. The 2022-2023 which we will discuss the home series. I think this was a good one. I think 2022-2023 series was a good one. Rohit Sharma was made the full-time test captain. 2023 particularly, this was in 23. It was in March, February, March. So India won the first two test matches and Australia I think won the third one and the fourth one was drawn. So yeah, it was a good series, and this was that left arm spinner Kuhneman played the series, and this was the series of Akshar Patel. This was the series of Akshar Patel, and I will just go test by test. So Rohit Sharma was the captain, and Australia got all out for 177 in the first innings, and Mohammad Shami bowled decently. It was all about Ravindra Jadeja in this test match. It was all about Ravindra Jadeja. Took 5 wickets. Shami and Siraj took 1 wicket each, and Ravichandran Ashwin took 3 wickets. In reply, India scored 400. Rohit Sharma played a captain's innings at Nagpur. Played captain's innings at Nagpur. 120 of 212. Beautiful, beautiful innings. Virat Kohli was playing this series, but he was not in good form in this test match at least. Todd Murphy, that spectacle off spinner, was playing this series and he bowled really, really well. And another notable contribution was from Ravindra Jadeja and yes, Akshar Patel. Lower down the order, those contributions were vital and very much pivotal in turning the series towards India. 400 all out India. And Todd Murphy took 7 wickets. 7 wickets in this innings. Australia in the second innings lost this test match. 91 all out. I think it was all the spinners. It was all the spinners. Ashwin took 5, Jadeja 2, Akshar Patel 1, and Mohammad Shami with his reverse swing took 2 wickets. It was a beautiful win for India. And the second test match at Delhi, again, it was not a flat wicket, it was a turning wicket, of course. And Australia scored 263 in the first innings. Usman Khwaja scored 81, a beautiful innings. Peter Hanscom played a beautiful innings there, by the way, 72 142. 263 all out. Shami took 4 wickets. Ashwin took 3 and Ravindra Jadeja took 3 wickets. India in the first innings, no big contributions, but again Akshar Patel in the lower order, 74 of 115. Beautiful innings. Nathan Land took 5 wickets. Todd Murphy took 2 wickets. And in the second innings, I think Australia just crumbled under pressure. The highest scorer being Travis Head, who opened the innings with Usman Khwaja. 113 all out. Ravindra Jadeja took 7 wickets and Ashwin took 3. All shared between spinners. 115 runs was the target for India. Virat Kohli scored 30. He was stumped. And Shrikar Bharat, K.S. Bharat was the keeper at that time. And Rohit Sharma was run out at 31. So the man who were there at the end were Cheteshwar Pujara and Shrikar Bharat. And they won this test match at Delhi. Third test, which was played at Indore. This was one of the most embarrassing test matches because India lost very badly, but already I think they were not losing the series, so it was kind of safe. So they were playing this third test match at Indore, and Kuhneman, that left arm spinner, wreaked havoc in this series. In this test match particularly, they lost this match convincingly. So yeah, I will just bring up the scorecard for you guys. India were all out for 109. That's Mark Kuhneman, this left arm spinner, just wreaked havoc. I think the highest score for India was 22 runs. Can you imagine? Virat Kohli was the highest scorer. Matthew Kuhneman, sorry, I was wrong with the name. Matthew Kuhneman took 5 wickets. Nathan Lack took 3 wickets and Todd Murphy took 1 wicket. So it was all spinners. You can imagine how bad the wicket was for batting. Australia scored 100 more runs. Usman Khwaja got 60 runs. Marnus Labuschagne scored 31 and no major contributions from their end. Jadeja took 4 wickets, Ashwin took 3 wickets, and Umesh Yadav with his reverse swing took 3 wickets. India in the second innings faltered again. Pujara was the highest scorer, 59 of 142. He tried his best. And this time Nathan Lyon took 8 wickets. I think these 8 wicket hauls are a bit common, right? Till now, I think you would have understood. I think the 8 wicket hauls are getting a little more common for these guys. So, yes, Travis Head score, and in return, it was only 76 run target. So, they chased it in within 20 overs. Travis Head 49 of 53, Marnus Labuschagne 28 of 58. And I think so. Yes, the fourth test match between India and Australia was at Ahmedabad. This was a bore fest because it was a flat wicket. And I think I remember Shubman Gill got 100, I think, if I'm not wrong. Usman Khwaja got 180. Cameron Green got 100. So, Ravichandran Ashwin took 6 wickets in this match. India, 571 all out. And yes, I was right. Shubman Gill got 100. 128 of 235. Virat Kohli got 100 here as well. 186 of 364. Akshar Patel again down the order, 79 of 113. So in this series, if you notice, Akshar Patel contributed with the bat a lot. This was the pivotal reason why India won. So in bowling, Nathan Lyon and Todd Murphy shared 3 wickets each, and Australia in their second innings, 175 for 2 declared. Travis Head got all out for 90, and Marnus Labuschagne scored 63. So yes, I think that was the end because I think the reason was that I think there was time ran out in this test match, and anyways India had won. So now, before closing this podcast, I think we'll this episode, special episode, bonus episode of Unfiltered Cricket Podcast. I think this is the final one. I think this is the 2024-2025 Border-Gavaskar Trophy, which started off as a very promising series but ended off as a very, very heartbreaking series for India and resulted in India not qualifying for the World Test Championship final. I think it was not the reason why India could not qualify. The main reason India could not qualify was the 3-0 drubbing India received against New Zealand at home prior to that. Anyways, first test match at Perth, the new Optus Stadium, 150 all out. There were a lot of new guys in this series. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Devdutt Padikkal, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Harshit Rana, a lot of new faces in this series. So we never knew what's going to happen. But Jaiswal got out cheaply in the first innings, trying to drive on the up. If you remember that dismissal, he tried to drive on the up and he was caught at point against Stark. He rushed a bit. It was young blood, you know, right? In young blood, you just don't analyze the situation that quickly and that well, and you just went for his shot and paid the price. KL Rahul 26 of 74. Rishabh Pant 37 of 78 tried his best. Nitish Kumar Reddy 41 of 59, the highest scorer in his test match debut innings in Australia. Wow, unbelievable the way he played. Australia, they're bowled out for 104. I think I remember this. I think that spell came towards the end of the day. Jasprit Bumrah bowled really, really well to Nathan McSweeney. Took 5 wicket haul. Mohammad Siraj, Harshit Rana took 3 wickets. This series was all about Jasprit Bumrah versus Australia because he was bowling out of his skins. Second innings, Yashasvi Jaiswal showed highest level of adaptability. The way he was controlling his instinctive shots was amazing to see. Amazing to see. 161 of 297 balls. Virat Kohli's final test match 100. It was a very emotional 100 because he was struggling from a long, long time, but he finally got that 100 in a long time. 100 of 143. I think after this, India declared 487 for 6. And in reply, I think Australia were made to bat that evening. Bumrah got that LBW of McSweeney, and Mohammad Siraj took 3 wickets. Washington Sundar 2. So in Australia were bowled out for 238, chasing a total of 534 runs. The way the series started, it seemed like it's all India in the series, but it was not meant to be. Australia demolished India at Adelaide. I think it was a huge gap between the first and the second test, and which actually turned out to be detrimental for India's chances. India got all out for 180 in the first innings. The only notable contribution was again Nitish Kumar Reddy, 42 of 54. In reply, Australia were outstanding with the bat. Travis Head scored a brilliant 140. And I remember, I think Mohammad Siraj gave him a send off, and Travis said something which I cannot say here right now. So yes, 337 all out. Bumrah and Siraj shared 4 wickets each in that innings. India in the second innings got cheaply all out for 175. Nitish Kumar Reddy scored 42 47, another again the highest scorer by the way. And in bowling, Scott Boland was amazing. Pat Cummins took a 5 wicket haul, and Australia were given a target of 19 runs. There's nothing he could do. So that was it. Second test match at Adelaide done. Now came the third test at Gabba, which was drawn. The Gabba test match, India was saved. This time, India were saved by rain, by the way, guys. This was India who got saved by rain, because if the rain would have not come at that moment, India would have lost this test match badly. They would have lost this test match badly. Okay. So, in that Gabba test match, Australia started off with two back-to-back hundreds from Stephen Smith and Travis Head. The partnership, I still remember, they batted beautifully. They batted beautifully. Akashdeep played this test match, by the way. Jasprit Bumrah, Akashdeep, and Mohammad Siraj were the pace bowlers. Bumrah took 6 wickets again, the spearhead. Mohammad Siraj took 2 wickets, and Akashdeep took one, but he was very unlucky. If I clearly remember at Gabba, he replaced Harshit Rana and he bowled really, really well. He was very unfortunate to not get those wickets, but he bowled really well. India in reply scored 260. KL Rahul was outstanding, scored 84. And yes, in this series, KL Rahul was a beautiful, beautiful opener. He played really, really well. I think if Jaswal was aggressive, KL Rahul was that calm, composed guy who was taking on whenever there was a loose ball, but he was playing really, really well. I think it was a measured attack. It was a controlled aggression from KL Rahul. And Ravindra Jadeja played really well in this inning, 77 123. Australia in the second innings, 89 for 7. It was very weird second innings. If anyone has watched this, I think they remember what happened there. I think they wanted to bat quickly, but I think everything fell apart. I don't know what happened. Bumrah, Siraj, and Akashdeep all came into party, and they were just throwing the wickets away. If you remember, it was a very bizarre situation. India were chasing 275 runs, but I think it was a very tough chase, 275. And then rain came, and the match was drawn. And fourth test match at MCG, the Boxing Day test match. Okay, before I go into the Boxing Day test match, if you remember, if you have watched the game carefully, there was a lot of rain at Brisbane. It was raining heavily, and there was a clip which was been shown that Ashwin was sitting with Virat Kohli, and Ashwin was crying, and he hugged Virat Kohli. And just moments after that, news came in that Ashwin is retired. Ashwin came into the press conference and just said that, okay, I'm retiring. So it was a very abrupt decision, and I can confirm that there was some problem in the dressing room during that situation, because Ashwin straight away left for India after that. He didn't even wait for the match to finish, for the series to finish. And there are a lot of stories which I've discussed in the previous podcast of India versus Australia. You can just go and search in the India versus Australia podcast. I have told that in detail in that one, so I will not deep dive into this Ravichandran Ashwin situation a lot now. So in the fourth test match, it's Australia who batted first. Stephen Smith got a beautiful 140. Australia were bowled out for 474, but they had done the damage. They scored a lot of runs. India scored 369. Jaiswal got a beautiful 82. And Virat Kohli was again struggling with his off-stump problems, as we all know. I've already discussed this again and again, so I won't discuss it again here. Nitish Kumar Reddy got a beautiful and emotional 100 at MCG in front of his father. Father was sitting in the crowd in the front seat, the front rows, and he saw his son score 100 at MCG. Stuff of dreams, like to prove your proud, to make your father proud in front of 90,000 people. It's an amazing feeling. So, yep, that was only the bright spot in that test match, because after that, what followed was very unfortunate. Australia scored 234. Marnus Labuschagne got a beautiful 17. Marnus Labuschagne was brought back into form by our bowlers. Towards the start of the series, he was not bowling well at all, but as the series progressed, he came back to form, and so did Steve Smith. Both of them came back into form. Bumrah again took 5 wickets. Siraj took 3. And in reply, chasing 340, India faltered. Jaiswal again got an 80, 84 of 208, but no one else contributed. And Rishabh Pant Rishabh Pant, I think this was the dismissal of stupid, where Sunil Gavaskar was furious. I think this was the dismissal. But Scott, I think he tried to flick it towards fine leg, but he took a top edge and the ball went to third man. And 30 of 104, and India lost this game. And this was the final test match of Rohit Sharma's career, because in the fifth test match, he told that he himself opted out. But no, he did not stand down. He was dropped by the team management in the fifth test match, and Bumrah was made the captain for the final test match at Sydney. India scored 185, and no big contributions in this innings, all in the 40s and 30s, because this was a good seaming wicket. SCG is usually known for a turning track, but here it was complete opposite. It was a seaming track which was moving around all the way. Stark got 3, Cummins got 2, and Scott Boland was amazing in this test match. He got 4 wickets. Australia were all out for 181. It was a good comeback from Indian bowlers. Bew Webster, he made his test debut, by the way, that all-rounder. He made his debut. Australia scored 181. And Jasprit Bumrah got 3 wickets, 2 wickets. Siraj got 3. Prashid Krishna played this test match, took 3 wickets. Nitish Kumar Reddy took 2 wickets, by the way, the all-rounder. India, in reply, did not bat well at all. Rishabh Pant scored 61 of 33, was quick, but it was not good enough. And India were bundled out for 157, and Australia were given a target of 162, and they chased it with 6 wickets to spare. And if you remember correctly, Virat Kohli was the stand-in captain in that final innings, because Bumrah was completely out of the game. Bumrah was injured. He was completely, I think his back was finished. He couldn't bowl anymore. So in that final innings, it was Virat Kohli. Such a fairy tale, right? It's such a fairy tale ending to his test career. No one thought that he will retire so soon, but in the final innings of his test career, Virat Kohli was the captain. But still, India could not win that game. We lost, and we lost the series 3-1. We could have lost 4-1, by the way, but the rain helped us lose the series 3-1. But didn't matter. We lost the World Test Championship qualification spot. So that's it. That's it from the India versus Australia bonus episode. I think I covered all the series which I missed in the India versus Australia Unfiltered podcast before. I hope you guys like this podcast. I hope you guys like this episode. It will come out really, really soon on the channel. So yep, I hope you like this bonus episode of Unfiltered Cricket Podcast. So do like, share, and subscribe, and mention in the comment section what you think about this podcast. Any positive, negative feedback is welcome. So, and let us know how we can improve on our content. And so that's it. So from Unfiltered, Sam.
Border-Gavaskar, the names that lead